Okay, so should we do a little Marianne?
Let's do a little Marianne. Where's the video? We have the View video, or
Yeah, let's start with that because, well, no, yeah, the View video, which started this week. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre,
she's right.
Thanks, Viola. Just made some snarky, like it was on the level of a Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So sorry to make you all watch another clip from The View, but it kind of like summarizes everything that happened. And then we'll get Marianne's response.
Best-selling author Marianne Williamson recently declared that she'll challenge President Biden for the Democratic nomination in 2024, and it's already sparked a debate between Williamson and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Take a look.
Just not tracking that. I mean, if I had a what is it called, a little globe here, crystal ball, then I can tell you. But I imagine 8-ball, whatever. If I can feel her aura, I just don't have it.
I was so sad to see the commentary of the president's press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, about me, about crystal balls, which I've never spoken or written about, and auras, which I've never spoken or written about, and just speaking so derisively and in such mocking terms about someone who is running for president of the United States. And as a woman, and this is the Democratic Party.
So should Jean-Pierre have made the joke about Williamson?
Yeah, I think so. I got to tell you, when she was first, in the realm of the election, I thought she was an interesting character. I mean, Oprah brought us to her as her spiritual guru, and I was buying all into the mind, body, spirit and stuff, and I was like, this world needs to heal. But then she said some stuff.
Yeah. Some stuff.
Then she said, sickness is an illusion and does not exist, and that cancer and AIDS and other physical illnesses are physical manifestations of a psychic scream. My uncle died of AIDS. It didn't look like a physical manifestation of a psychic scream. No. It looked like a disease that he died from. And so she also said that people can will themselves back to health. My in-laws who died of COVID, I'm sure they would have liked to have done that, but they couldn't. And she apologized for casting doubt on clinical depression, calling it a scam. So now I'm not feeling her crystals and her aura.
Okay, so, you know something, a couple of things. Number one, Marianne Williamson has the sense of humor of this cup. Karine Jean-Pierre, she was trying to be funny. Comedian, she should have stopped at, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. That would have ended the conversation. She made a joke, which of course, everybody's going to go after her for that and all that.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about Marianne, her platform or being in the race or whatever, I just think it was so repugnant to treat her that way. And I think some of those quotes were either taken out of context or completely actually inaccurate.
Yeah. So I just want to preface my defense of Marianne on this is like, they're going to do this. This is what they did. They labeled her all that crazy. Like, I don't even like Marianne. Like, I like her on some level. I don't think her being there is necessarily as bad as some people think. But I just want to point out that this is the hit that's going to come from the establishment. They're going to take, so that if you see what they did there, they took a out of context quote, added a personal story and her pain of her somebody who died from COVID. Meanwhile, they're all not protecting for COVID at all.
But they care so much about
COVID.
Yeah,
live with
it.
2 feet away, been not speaking up on it at all. But so these are the attacks that they're going to do, and they're going to label her crazy. They're going to amplify stuff out of context. That's what they do. So she's painted as that already. So the thing I want to say about Marianne, though, like defending her aside, like, nobody should be unrealistic if you support her that she's going to win this thing. She's not going to win this thing. No, 0.0 chance. So just don't go into it thinking I support her. I want to give her my fucking paycheck like you might have given Bernie or whatever, like, come on, don't be like that.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah. I know I'm looking at some of your,
so things, but
I mean, I know. And I mean, it's already 6:42. I don't know how much more we want to get into because we do have quite a bit of video, but it is interesting to see how they are already trying to do their version of what they did to Bernie to her, right? Like just to malign her, to lie about her, to do the smears, to leave her out of some of the polls, to ignore her, all of that kind of stuff. And it's really unfortunate because more is better. Democracy is good. Get more people out there, broaden the conversation. I am not saying anybody, as you said, Pat, should donate or volunteer or whatever, but this is a democracy, and we should not coronate this feeble, old, disgusting man who is in control of the Democratic Party. And the fact that Marianne's the only person who's putting herself out there, and whatever you might want to say, whether it's to, sell books or vanity project or whatever, she is going to put some ideas out there that are worthy of being put out because nobody else is talking about them. That is not where we should put all of our hopes. But I don't see, I mean, honestly, after watching The View and watching Jean-Pierre, there's a part of me that's like, okay, I'm going to vote for Marianne. Like, you all are disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of bullshit, and like all those things they said about her, my criticism of her have nothing to do with that. It's just that, she's waffled. At the end of the day, she's already capitulating in interviews that she'd probably vote for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's not a bad guy. And so if you look at Bernie, that was Bernie's weakness, is he never criticized her. I mean, he never criticized Biden. So,
yep.
or Hillary Clinton enough, he wouldn't attack. So she's already capitulating from the jump that she's signaling she's not going to be too deferential to Biden. And obviously you need that, but that doesn't mean like she's not sheepdogging. She's in it for whatever reason she is, but it isn't to draw people into the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I will say though, and I do think, we've already had this conversation, but no one should get into this who's scared that she'll be blamed for the reelection of Trump if she keeps going hard on the person she is trying to primary. And that is my concern, that there is a gentleness, just as you said, that Bernie had with Biden. She's never going to get the kind of support that Bernie got anyway. And even Bernie, with all of those millions of people supporting him who were begging him to do the dirty break, to run third party at that point, after he had won the first 3 primaries. No one has ever won the first 3 primaries and not gone on to secure the nomination. I think that he could have really, it was like a once in a lifetime opportunity that was missed, because I think he could have really broken the Democratic Party wide open. I don't think she's even planning to do that.
But if you look at where he was and where we should be now, he should have been paving the way for someone to be more critical of the party.
100%.
Which is not on him. I mean, he did sort of pave the way, but his softening now makes it hard for someone else to come in and say and go even harder. But the follow-up, I mean, to see Trump win, being outrageous and attacking the party left and right and personal and everything, and to not have us coming off of Bernie 2020, into 2024 with somebody who's more critical of the Democratic Party is just pathetic. So all this to me, and to most people, I think you look at ourselves on the left and you just say we're in a weaker position electorally than we were before. Yeah, and so absolutely. To see Marianne as a solution to that, when she's capitulating to Biden already, and she has no mainstream support, she doesn't have a history to fall to of all the things Bernie did. She's like 1/50th the candidate that Bernie is to start with. So like, support her, sure, go for it. But like, there's no way she comes out of this and evolves into Bernie 2.0 that's strong enough to beat the machine. It's just no fucking way. None. Zero.
Yeah. Pretty depressing. It is really, and again, and I know we started the whole show talking about this, but the fact that nobody in Congress is trying to primary him, and the fact that Joe Manchin just last week was asked if he would support Biden, if Biden, who has announced his intention but hasn't yet filed, runs in 2024, he wouldn't commit to that. That's Joe Manchin, whose wife got, who sabotaged whatever Biden pretends was his, legislative priorities for Build Back Better, who Biden gave his wife some, job to give them more money. Why give somebody who's turning against you, his wife, some plum position? He won't commit to that. And nobody's saying, oh, he's not even a real Democrat, or, I guess they kind of are, but what even does that mean? I have no idea. The fact that Democrats on the pretend left of the party are so scared to speak out against the people in power, and the right Democrats, the conservative Democrats or whatever, they have no problem speaking out against Pelosi, against Biden, and they maintain their committee assignments when they were still, when we were still had both chambers. It really speaks to a lack of integrity.
Absolutely. 100% lack of integrity, lack of
fortitude,
gumption. I think the thing is, like, a lot of these people, a lot of the progressives that ran as progressives that'll bring the ruckus, whatever, they got their brand up enough to where it's safe. They didn't rub the Democratic Party enough. So the people that were sort of centristy that voted for them enough to get them across the line are going to vote for them again, because they're just like, it's Democratic. They're not criticizing Biden. It's all
unity.
But we know nothing will change within the Democratic Party without huge events coming forward, because they're always going to fall in line with the donors. And so without the progressives saying a fucking peep about all the issues going on here, and I don't see Marianne as any sort of challenger to that. I think if she gets on the debate stage and counters Biden on anything, it's kind of like Tulsi. Tulsi did it a couple times. Great Tulsi. But look where Tulsi is now. Tulsi's at fucking CPAC, fucking
anti-trans,
church and pro-church and state, and white people are oppressed, and
oh my God, she had two good moments, and that was it. That was it for Tulsi.
So
So keep putting pressure.
Ultimately, I just don't see Marianne as some solution. But that doesn't mean it's not positive. She's challenging Biden.
Yeah, I'm hoping that opens the door for a few more people to get that gumption going.